Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Corman, and I am back here with another video. I totally botched up that sentence because I'm not thinking straight. We are back here with another podcast, and I have a guest with me this episode, Bunny Noah from the Discord chat. Yes, that's his title. He will be talking here now.
Hello.
Yeah, there he is. So, I wanted to, like I said in the end in the last podcast, I wanted to branch out and get more people involved in this one. Noah and I, we met it's been like 3 weeks now, I think. We've known each other for almost a month. And we have the same viewpoints on the whole situation going on with Monster Hunter Worlds and other things like that. So I decided to bring him on this next podcast, and we'll talk about some talking points I have right here for us, because that's what I did in the last video. So, Noah, would you like to tell the audience about yourself?
Hi, I'm Noah. I started playing Monster Hunter for you. So obviously I started on a Nintendo console. I did go back to play 3U for the 3DS. I never bought or played the 3U for the Wii U. I haven't yet played any games previously before the third generation. I've played Generations and Double Cross for the Japanese version on my Switch. And I bought it because I thought they weren't going to port it over because of Worlds, and that was it left a sour taste in my mouth already.
That's a talking point, but he can talk on that.
Yeah, I can say, I believe is that we should get a Monster Hunter for the Switch because it doesn't matter or if it's a completely new one. I just think that the Switch is too valuable to Capcom to not capitalize off of.
And we both feel the exact same way on this. I discussed these points in the last video. So, no, if I go silent throughout this video, just wait for me to get back, and then I'll cue you. And if then you don't respond, I'll cue you again. Because, guys, we are going through some weird period on Discord. We're talking through Discord right now, and they're having some weird server errors, so we don't know how this is going to go on our first time around, so it's going to be pretty funny. Hopefully, it won't go terribly wrong, but yeah, let's get into these talking points. That is my new partner in crime. Yes, that was, oh my god, that was cringy. If I say that again, smack me.
A little too cringy.
Yeah, okay. So, this first talking point. So, if you have been paying attention to the Monster Hunter Worlds Mania, as I am calling that, if you're following YouTubers like Eric's Gaming, Cancer Me, we now have seen beta footage of Monster Hunter Worlds. Okay, I'm going to speak first on this, and then Noah, I'll get past the mic to you. After watching the beta, I am now gone from not convinced that this game isn't going to be good to, oh my god, how does Capcom prevent this game from being dumpster fire? What I saw just from the opening of Kanta Permi's video, I saw a cluttered menu that looked like Capcom didn't know what to put and how to organize it. You had the item GUI in the top right corner. You had the bloated up map in the left hand corner. Did you notice that too, Noah?
Obviously, they needed to change something differently. They needed to make something different from the because but at the same.
Could you reiterate that point, please? Are you there?
Yes, I'm there. You went silent.
Yeah, because I was waiting for you to keep talking. Could you reiterate that point?
Yeah, I think the map in the screen is a little bit too much. It's taking up a lot of space. Also, if we're talking about the map and
The map and what?
because they're trying really hard to make it open world and say it's open world, but like, come on, you're just making small little corridors to each place that's just big enough for monsters to get through.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. They were pushing for open world, and to you guys, like, yeah, you are sort of having some internet issues right now, but I'm gonna basically explain your point. To you guys who didn't hear what Noah was just trying to say, he was basically talking about the the issues of them saying it's open world and stuff, but they have these small little corridors going on, and it doesn't really feel open world if you're just going to a certain area. In fact, it really just feels more like a glorified, like each map is largened. And that's with menu GUIs right now. We haven't even gotten on to the combat, which is what we're going to discuss next about the beta, and then we haven't even gotten on to the monster AI, which I feel like is the oh my god, the AI is terrible. um, let's talk about that combat system. Okay. So far, the only beta access that I've seen, I don't know if there's anything else out there, but Canna Per Me was using the long sword. And there was really, really bad issues I started to notice. It looked like normal longsword play at first, but then as I paid attention, I was noticing something very, very off. Uh, Noah, did you know that the game plays a lot slower than any other Monster Hunter game we've seen up to this point?
Excuse me?
Oh, have you noticed that the game looks a lot slower?
Yeah, well, I guess one of their points was making everything else, like gathering and stuff, faster, and then making the monster
Slower? I'm going to assume you said slower. Okay.
weird things that I dislike is like the gathering system that you just mass gather versus like even though it is a quality of life change and it makes things easier, I still think it makes things a little bit too easy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but
It's
combat is the main thing of Monster Hunter, and then you just slow the entire combat process down.
exactly.
So,
Exactly.
and they're all like, oh, we got to make the game, it's going to be 60 frames per second, it's going to be at that 1080p. Well, it looks slower than the average Monster Hunter game. If we're looking at the gameplay, at the beta currently right now of what we have, the game looks slower. It doesn't look like it's supposed to be a really combat-based game, more of just lore telling, and that kind of scares me about the gameplay. I'll give that one to you. I heard the Discord notification go off. So, on to the AI. Oh boy, do I have some things to say about this. I don't know which monster's named which. I know one's like Ejananath. I don't know how to pronounce that thing. And then there's the...
And Jen, basically pink Devil Joe.
Yeah, I have a name for him. Generic T-Rex monster, and we have generic lizard monster. First of all, I didn't like the designs of these monsters the moment I saw them. And I can already hear people going to the comment section right now. Oh, how dare you! Like, you're anti-Monster Hunter Worlds. You gotta give the game a chance. Watch me virtue signal to oblivion. No, like, guys, I have given the game a fair chance on a fair number of times. I am done with this crap. Like, it's getting so ridiculous to the point where if you just are anything against Worlds, you will get accused of being a salty Nintendo. I'm not any of that. Compare... What's his name again?
Well,
Jananath?
yeah, whatever.
Compare a Xananath to Devil Joe. Devil Joe looks really, really well done. Heck, a freaking 9-year-old made his design. Of course, that's going to be.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's creative. You look at a Xananath, it looks like your typical Jurassic Park T-Rex.
Yeah.
So that's just off the design. Let's get into the AI. We're going way off course here.
Right.
The AI. I don't know what the name of that one lizard monster, but from what I noticed. Wait, that's his name?
Great Jaggrass, I believe.
Okay, Great Jaggrass. Wow, that name is terrible.
Oh, Great Jaggy, anyone? Great Jaggy?
Great Jaggrass. Yeah, it's not totally not a ripoff of Great Jaggy. He had this, and no, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but whenever he attacked, he would literally swat at Kanta, spin around in a circle, swat at Kanna again, spin around in a circle, swat at Kanna, and then completely lose interest and go, like, run off into a corner. Then he would just randomly do the taunt roar, probably 3 times, and then that led to Kanna at least tripping him a good amount of times.
Yeah.
And then we get into this glitch. Kanna jumps in the air and then gets Sonic 06 across the stage.
I was wondering. I thought that was like a new move. Or like, is there like aerial style? That's literally what I thought. Like, is there like an aerial style? And I was like, wait, there's no such thing as aerial style. This is not Generations or Double Cross.
Yeah, this is the main team. They even said themselves the main team is working on this game. So styles are probably nowhere to be found in here.
Maybe someone from the other team decided to sneak in that little glitch.
Oh my god. No, that I don't know what they were going for, but and I'm sorry if I interrupted you right there, but he literally cleared half of the stage just by jumping. And it looked like it wasn't even in his mind to do so, because I know how Kanta hunts. He's a very downhill type of hunter. He likes to chain all of his combos together. And I've watched him for a while now. So when you have random jumps across the stage happening at nowhere, that seems like it's going to affect the gameplay heavily.
Right.
And on the AI point, whenever you just have a monster completely spinning in circles and then using one move over and over and over, that's really predictable, because he has like full telegraph on that claw swipe. And that's another thing.
Yeah, I think it may have been just.
It may have been a bug.
Yeah, it may have been a bug with either way. If a monster gets that can happen in certain things where in a certain part of a map, an AI or like for a NPC or a monster can become glitched and it doesn't know what to do, so it just.
Yeah, it just spins out of control. I can hear you.
Does the same thing. How to fix it? But that's a bad
move.
Then again, that is a bad AI.
Yeah. And what Noah was trying to say there, guys, he was just going on. Yeah, you did robot heavily through that section. And what Noah was trying to say was that if the AI gets met in a situation to where it doesn't know what to do, it will just randomly select moves, and that was going on through there. And I know I'm gonna get this like spammed at me right now. I can already hear it coming. Oh, it's just a beta. It's a beta, Corey. Oh, you're freaking out over nothing. Well, the thing is, this game's coming out in 2 months. 2 months, and we already have all these issues. You have Kanta per me flying across the stage. We're not even meaning to do that. You have slowed down longsword gameplay. I don't use the longsword, but I know it's not supposed to be that slow, where it looks like you can literally see the slashes happening in slow motion. So I know it's nothing to freak out over, but whenever we have these issues going on with the AI and the random jumps happening, that's a lot of stuff to fix, guys. Like, it takes a very, very long time to fix this stuff. And 2 months, believe it or not, is not a long time to work with.
Like for some people, if you see some examples of people with time crunches, sometimes they do it well. Like New Vegas, Obsidian Entertainment did really well with only 2 years on their hands. But then you see some more recent ones like Mass Effect Andromeda, where they had a full like I think at the very end they had no. Yeah.
My God. What he was trying to say there was talking about Mass Effect and how. Oh, are you back?
And this.
Are you back?
I'm back. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I think they're going to get the gist of what you're trying to say. Basically, the whole Mass Effect, they didn't finish, and it ended up being bad. That's what they got. Or just look at Sonic 06. That game was not finished. I know it's probably blasphemy to compare this game to Sonic 06. But still, I don't like it. The fact that it doesn't look good already. It's a beta, and they have so many issues in the beta already. And with 2 months to work with, that's a lot of time. That's not a lot of time to work with.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so I think that wraps up our beta. We'll probably be covering more on that because I'm sure Cantiper, me, and Eric's will keep us updated on things like that, along with Rising Fun Gaming. You guys should go check those guys all out. Although I'm pretty sure all my subscribers are subscribed to them already, but they're pretty cool. They're neutral when it comes to the drama with Monster Hunter Worlds. On to the next part, which is actually a thing I'm kind of excited to talking to you about, Noah. The Generations team is technically still with Nintendo. Do you foresee them staying with us while the main team moves on with Sony? Do you see that happening?
Me?
Yeah. Yeah, you.
Hello?
Yep. Do you foresee? Hello? Oh my God, this is gonna be.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to like edit these parts. Do you see Sony, or do you see the Generations development team staying with Nintendo, making more games? That's what I'm trying to ask.
I can see that Capcom in general it's a smart decision to stay with Nintendo on the Switch
because it's doing so well. Yeah, the Switch is doing so well. My God, I need to check Discord. And this is all
Japan.
Yeah, by the way, guys, this is all live podcast. This is unscripted, so I understand he's roboting a lot, but gonna have to deal with it. It's a live podcast, so things like this are expected. Are you still there? Are you still there?
I'm still there.
Okay.
I'm still there. So yeah, I think that regardless of it's the B team for Generations and Double Cross, or if it's the A team for Worlds, I think Capcom should be smart enough to develop games for the Switch, even if it's a port of Double Cross or if it's a completely new game. It's just I believe that they're smart enough to actually do that. I think Worlds either they didn't think it would be work on the Switch, or as what I believe is Nintendo didn't have enough time to give them a dev kit when they are developing it. So it's going to take more time for them to develop Worlds for the Switch.
Actually, they did get a dev kit. I think that was confirmed. I said that in the last podcast. I think Nintendo Prime. Do you know who Nintendo Prime is?
Mm-hmm.
He basically, I think it was his video covering Capcom and Konami Teneko. I don't even know how to pronounce their name. To this day, I still don't know how to pronounce their name. It's basically talking about him talking about how the whole dev kit argument was loaded because Nintendo pretty much handed out their dev kits.
I see.
My friend is messaging me on Discord, and I'm not responding to it. I'm having a theory. If I keep Discord open, maybe it will reduce the roboting less. So, no,
Right.
you don't. This is just a yes or no question. So, you do think that we will see another game if Worlds backfires?
Even if World doesn't backfire, I think it's a smart idea that Capcom should. So I really believe that we will eventually see a Monster Hunter game for the Switch because it just seems like a good smart business plan considering the popularity of the Switch, especially in Japan, which is of course their target audience for Monster Hunter.
See, I get your point there, but the issue is this is Capcom we're talking about. They've been known. They've gone bankrupt twice now. Like almost, no, not gone bankrupt. They would have not been here if they went bankrupt. They literally have almost went to bankruptcy twice.
Right.
And had Nintendo not stepped in, Monster Hunter would still not be a thing right now.
Exactly.
And we all know that. So personally, my view on this, and luckily we won't have to worry about the roboting here, so that's good. It hasn't been too bad, but I've been having to translate. Here's my thoughts on this. Yes, I do see them coming out with the next big thing, but I wanted to actually have a theory here. Are you ready to hear this?
Sure.
Okay, so you know what Monster Hunter Frontier is, right? The game for the PC?
Yep.
It never came? Alright, so Monster Hunter Frontier. This is a theory, but I think we get a game similar to that, if not an actual localization, and it comes to the Switch.
Hmm.
I think we get a game like that because here's why. The dev team that made Frontier is the same dev team that made Generations.
Ah, I see. Makes sense.
And that dev team doesn't currently have a job.
Exactly. They're just sitting on their asses. Like they probably really want to. Well, they may actually have a job. You don't know. They actually may be developing something, but we don't know. But at the same time, if not, then they're just sitting on their asses and they're probably waiting to get some work, which is more than likely another Monster Hunter thing. Even if it's a spin-off title, it could also be an specifically game towards Nintendo and stuff.
Yeah, let me tell you something, dude. If we got Frontier on the Switch, that would absolutely destroy Worlds. I don't care if Worlds still looks good graphically. We're talking about Frontier. This game has every single monster. On top of that, it has bonus content.
Exactly. The thing is, Frontier is a somewhat of an MMO, but like compared to like Monster Hunter Online, it's much less of an MMO and more like a traditional Monster Hunter game, but it's still technically an MMO.
Yeah, and the bosses are a lot more insane. I feel like it would cater to the hardcore audience more than the casual audience, and that's why I think they may do it. They could have the hardcore Monster Hunter on the Switch, and we have the casual game in Worlds. I'm sorry, guys, it looks casual. We have.
So, anyways, since it was an MMO, always when you think about MMOs and in Japan, usually they never port it over to Western shores because it's a lot of money to get servers and stuff over here. But like at the same time, if it's because it's only on PC, if it's on Nintendo, then there's a much higher chance because Nintendo of America will say if there's a market for it, they'll definitely allocate some servers to a Switch-based Frontier.
Yeah, and honestly, my thoughts on that, yeah, I really wonder, isn't it like you have to pay to play every 3 months or month? I don't know exactly.
I don't remember. I thought, like, I forgot which way it was because I know online is, like, free to play as long as you have a Chinese account. But, like, I don't know about, Frontier. I thought it could have been, like, a one-time pay, but it's definitely something you have to pay for, but I don't know if it's like a subscription or if it's like a one-time pay. Like Elder Scrolls Online, for example, is a one-time pay versus World of Warcraft. If you want the full version, you have to pay monthly or so.
Okay, yeah. And I think if Nintendo finds a way to work their online, because the online payment thing is coming in 2018.
Exactly.
So maybe they could find a way to correlate that into it.
Yeah, if it happens, then it would make sense. Like that they ported, what is it? They ported Dragon Quest X, which is also an MMO, but it's like sorry, it is an MMO, but they also ported it to the Switch, and of course it's region locked, but still, they haven't decided to port it because it's an older game, and some people are just, it wouldn't be like something you want to. Plus, there's Dragon Quest XI coming to the Switch, so.
Yeah.
So porting over a several-year-old game, especially an MMO, that would take a lot more work than just translating it, would be much less of a thing to do.
Yeah. I would love a port of Frontier Z. I didn't, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't it come out on the Wii U? Like in Japan?
It did come on the Wii U and the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation. Well, I don't know if about the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. I didn't know if they did that, but I definitely know they did the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3,
So
as well as the PC and Wii U.
okay, so if we got Frontier, even though it's like last gen at this point, but technically, Generations is considered last gen because it's 4th gen. If we got Frontier, or a game that was like Frontier in a sense, I'd be a-okay with that. Like,
Yeah,
okay, I don't have
like,
to worry about worlds.
I would love to fight some of the Frontier monsters, which it seems a little bit unlikely. But like, if it's a true port of Frontier, then of course you'll have the Frontier monsters. But like, there's several monsters from Frontier that I would love to fight, but I never have, of course.
All right. Now on,
Which could be a big selling point, because on the West, at least to the West, because the West has never fought these monsters before. So like, they'll like have some like, oh, all new monsters, even though they're not really. But like, we've never fought them in the West, so technically they wouldn't be lying.
technically Amatsu, no one in the West got to fight it until Gen came out.
Exactly.
So it could be like that.
Exactly.
Now, do you want to move on to the next point, or do you want to keep talking on this talking point?
I think we've made our case. Let's move on to the next point.
Yeah. So we both think that we could get a new Monster Hunter game like Frontier on the Switch. That's pretty good. Now we have 2 more points to cover. I added another one. The last point is going to be the big one. Also, I think I have fixed the error with you roboting. When I have the Discord client open, it seems to not work as hard.
Right.
So hopefully that will be it for the robots. Hopefully we don't have a bunch of comments complaining about, Bunny Noah's roboting. I'm gonna dislike your video because I'm a terrible person.
Well, I mean, if they dislike it for that reason, that's kind of stupid. But because we don't have access to like really high end Wi-Fi and stuff, because my Wi-Fi has actually been wonking out. But anyways, what's your next 2 points?
Okay, next point. This has been one that everyone has been asking.
Yep.
Does Monster Hunter Double Cross come to the Switch? Localized, even though they've said we plan on no plans, does it come to the Switch?
Well, that obviously depends. But like if they're developing a new game, then I don't think they would take the time to port Double Cross. But if they're waiting on it, then definitely they should definitely port Double Cross. Like, I wouldn't buy it because I already have the Japanese version. Well, I might actually have to buy it because I have to show them my support. But still, it's if they are making a game for the Switch, it's unlikely they're going to port it for to Western audiences. I mean, port Double Cross if they're making a new game. But if they aren't, then it seems like a stupid idea not to.
All right, and I will give my view on this. As I already told you guys in the last podcast about Capcom running out of excuses, I think that once we had that dagger on E3 2017, the night they announced Worlds, and then Game Informer basically came out and were like, yeah, it's not happening, guys. And then Capcom pretty much had to cover themselves so they wouldn't get backlash. I think that was the that was the nail in the coffin. So that's honestly what I think about it. Still mad about it. I did import the Japanese version. Some of my friends are going to import it. What made it worse, though, was the fact that after they announced it and Capcom had to cover for it, they basically went, "Oh, but you can check out this brand new, better-looking game in Monster Hunter Worlds."
Exactly.
That's honestly what let me know.
That was, in my opinion, and excuse my friends, that was a dick move.
It was. Dude, feel free to. I'm not going to use the language, but you can.
Alright, sorry. I know his channel is pretty clean, but like, it's funny because never mind.
No, dude, I've had other people on who have used much worse. Trust me.
Alright, cool. So, yeah, it was kind of a dick move for like seriously. Alright. So yeah, if they so it seems unlikely that they are going to port it, but like it seems like a bad idea not to port it, if not make a new game for the Switch.
I don't say they port it at all, but here's what really scares me, and this was by Nintendo Prime in one of his videos. According to what he has, and Nintendo Prime, guys, he's really, really reliable. Like, a lot of the stuff he can predict, it comes true pretty much 90% of the time. And from what he said in his video, Capcom's not even committing to producing future Monster Hunter titles for the Switch. So that is really, really interesting. And if that is true, Capcom's going to have a lot on their plate, because Nintendo fans, unlike Sony fans, I think we can mobilize a lot faster than Sony fans can.
Right. Literally, too, because we have the Switch, and Switch is portable.
Yeah, mobilize, I get it.
Sorry, it's a little joke, sorry.
It's a pun. No, I make worse puns than that on a daily basis.
Alright, so we can mobilize versus Sony fans can't?
Yeah, well, you know about the boycott Monster Hunter Worlds people, right?
Right.
Okay, so you have those guys. They're serious. You don't see them at all on the Monster Hunter Worlds channels, because obviously, why are they going to be there? But you see them a lot under Nintendo Prime. Like, I can guarantee you, if I go, excuse me, I can guarantee you, if I go to that video right now, I will find at least 5 boycott Monster Hunter Worlds comments.
Right, but that's just something related. Like, I have a pretty good PC. Like, it's more powerful than either the PlayStation 4 Pro or the Xbox One X, but I'm still not going to get Worlds, World, I should say, because I'd rather play it on the Switch or on the Go or on the 3DS even. Yeah. It's just like, I'm one of the rare examples, like, oh, you have a PC. I mean, I have a PC and I want to play it, whatever. It's just like, whatever, it's just weird.
Well, it's a proven fact. Portable is better. Like, Monster Hunter sold a consistent 4.1 million units when it was with the 3DS. That's pretty good, especially when you're competing with the likes of Pokemon. And I know, Bunny, I know you do not like Pokemon, but
yeah, but like,
that's a dynasty of a franchise.
Yeah, one of the reasons I don't like Pokemon is because the first Pokemon game for the 3DS actually came a few months after Animal Crossing, and pretty much all my friends just lost interest in Animal Crossing and went to Pokemon, and I didn't play and I was forced to play Pokemon in order to actually have friends who are playing Pokemon, and I didn't play until like Christmas, even though Pokemon X and Y came out like in the fall. So yeah, just a little offset. That's why.
This is backstory. Yeah, most of my subscribers are Pokemon fans. Like, because I already told you before I start. Like, a lot of my subscribers know, and I just told you. So, I did start off with PokeTubing.
So if you're a Pokemon fan, I have no hate or ill will to you. Like, just Pokemon in general is not my kind of game. I didn't grow up with it, and I don't really like that kind of RPG strategy kind of game. But just If you like it, go for you. Just do whatever you want with it. It's just know that I wouldn't personally vouch for it if I was recommending games. Like Pokemon is coming to the Switch. Like personally, if that came out alongside with another game of equal things, I would usually, even if I didn't play either one, I would usually recommend the non-Pokemon game because it's not my kind of game. But like, I have no ill will towards it. It's just, I just can't. It's not my kind of game. That's it.
Yeah, don't worry. My subscribers are nice. They won't go after you and completely attack you. Okay.
Luckily, I only have one YouTube video, and
now where were we?
That's about it.
Where were we on this whole? Oh yeah. I didn't tell what I thought was going to happen. Okay. It's not happening. Yeah, I already went off on that with the whole they tried to cover themselves, and it just looked really suspicious how they tried to cover themselves like that. And that's what made me say, okay, we're not getting this game. But then Nintendo Prime comes out with his video, and then it's like, oh no, when are we going to get Monster Hunter again?
That's so again, to me, that's a bad business decision.
Well, it's Capcom. They've nearly went bankrupt twice.
Yeah. I'm just saying that they should learn by now. At least Nintendo learned from the Wii U. You know?
Well, I like to think, contrary to popular belief, I think the Wii U helped set up the Switch's success because remember the Wii U had those good games towards the end of its lifetime.
Exactly. I believe that the failure of the Wii U prompted Nintendo to fix their mistakes, but like still the Wii U also wasn't that bad of a system. It was just very poorly marketed.
The games that made it get good late, made it good later in its lifetime, honestly came out too late. Like you had Mario Maker, Super Smash Brothers,
Mario Maker, Splatoon, all those great games.
They came out a little too late.
I think Pikmin 3 was pretty good. I'd never played it, but I heard good things about it. It's just like they're great games, but they're really diamonds in the rough because no one wants to buy Wii U since there's little other support games. Also, Hyrule Warriors was pretty good, which led to the creation of Fire Emblem Warriors, which I've heard nothing but good things about.
Yeah, I think, and the one thing people try to, I heard myself robot on your end, and one thing people try to say is that, oh, well, they're not going to put Monster Hunter on the Wii U because they're afraid of the Switch failing. Well, here we are, about, how long has it been since March? Let's see.
Just, I think 9 months, maybe?
Okay, here we are, 9 months. The Switch has literally dominated the market, even with the Xbox One X out and the competition it's starting to bring. The Switch...
Xbox One X, like, I've heard Xbox One X is definitely beating PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 4 Pro, but still the Switch is dominating, even though...
Well, it's the Switch. Like, I think everyone knew... Whoever thought the Switch wasn't going to dominate was They either thought too quickly about the Wii U fan, like, oh, Nintendo, oh, they suck. But the Switch, we now have, it's going to hit, like, what, 14 million by the end of the holiday? I don't know how many it's going to hit. It's going to be some astronomical number and blow my mind.
It's like they're still predicting that it's going to blow the Wii U's lifetime sales out of the water by its first year, which is pretty insane to think about. Okay. They're also even thinking that it's going to beat the Wii itself, which is a little bit of a stretch, but like at the same time, it could happen.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. But you have these morons out here who give Capcom excuses. Like it's like a free pass for Capcom. Like, oh, they got to pass this test. Oh, the Wii U was a failure, and now they're just judging their things off one thing. But here's what gets me: most of their games that did well were on the 3DS, so it makes no sense. You had a backup in the 3DS, so even if 3 Ultimate didn't sell well in I almost said the 3U on the Wii U. You had a backup in the 3DS, and it still sold well, so I don't get the point of it. And even then, your console exclusive in Tri is still the leader in console exclusive Monster Hunter games. So I don't understand the excuse from Capcom. It's a pathetic excuse. It needs to stop, and it's a load of crap. I think we both can agree on that.
Exactly. Like, just for everyone to know, I never played Try. I wish I did because I did have a Wii at the time that Try came out, but I had no idea that Monster even existed because I was like a little kid. I was still playing like Harvest Moon and Animal Crossing and all those little kid games. Wasn't until like it wasn't until I was in of course middle school I started doing the more mature games and stuff. But like at the time, even though Monster is if you see Monster's demographic, you see people from all ages. You see people from like 7 years old to just 18 and up, and especially in Japan, even though it's Japan, and like you won't really see much children in the Western countries play Monster Hunter, but like still, it's a huge range of demographics, and yeah.
So, yeah, it's time to stop giving Capcom free passes, and I think we both agree on that. So, we both given our viewpoints on if the game is coming over or not. We both think, you think probably not. I say definitely not after what happened on the night of E3. So that will make us to where we can move on to our final point, and I've been waiting for this one. The factions of Monster Hunter. I've talked about this one in my last podcast video, but I wanted to go into a little bit more depth on some personal experiences with both sides of this. Noah, you probably know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I watched your podcast. Don't worry.
So, the pro Monster Hunter Worlds people versus anti Monster Hunter Worlds people. Now,
exactly.
I call the anti Monster Hunter Worlds people boycott Monster Hunter Worlds. That's what I officially call them. And then I call the people who are pro Monster Hunter Worlds Whiteknights.
Exactly.
So, there are a few figures in the Monster Hunter community who continuously White Knight all the time. We're not going to name who that person will be for another video, probably by myself.
Persons. Like there's a few per people, but
yeah,
it's really one person.
It's really one person. It's mostly more on a general basis. But
yeah,
you have people who White Knight the game, and then people who are absolutely going after this game, trying to find. Hang on. Okay, we are back. Sorry about that. I almost lost the entire recording data, and that's
you lost the recording.
No, I didn't say I lost the recording. That's why I went ooh, because I thought I almost lost the entire recording data.
Okay, good. I was like,
that's like 40 minutes of stuff gone. But
jeez.
Yeah, as I was saying, there's people who White Knight the game, and then there are people who are very against the game, and then they're just trying to find every single thing wrong with the game they can. And most people are going to pass me off as that. No, I generally try to find things about worlds I like. It's so much not like Monster Hunter to the point where I can't do that. I said it in the last podcast. I'm not completely boycott Monster Hunter Worlds, but if I had to, I'd probably align myself with them just for what they did on night of E3. If they handled E3 a bit better and didn't completely divide the community, then I probably wouldn't be so anti-Monster Hunter Worlds as I am today.
Exactly. Like, I remember watching the Sony E3 presentation, and they showed Monster Hunter World. Like, what is this game? Like, I seriously had no idea. It looked nothing like Monster Hunter. And it wasn't until the Rathian, or Rathalos, I forgot which one was in the first trailer, that I actually realized it was Monster Hunter. I was like, what is this game? I was like, I knew it's Monster Hunter, but, like, it was so different. It looked like something, like a completely different kind of game, but of the same genre. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it didn't look like Monster Hunter, and at this point, whenever I saw it, I messaged Capcom themselves and like, okay, yeah, they probably get 1,000 messages a time. It's like I literally messaged them. I'm like, yo, this does not, it doesn't look good, because what initially worried me, because I was hyping up Monster Hunter to an extent because Pokemon was sort of on a decline and Monster Hunter was sort of on an escalating trend.
On the rise?
Yeah, and we can all tell because Sun and Moon, let's be honest, everyone's going to say, oh, but due to critical fan acclaim, it's one of the best games in the franchise. Well, if I remember correctly, IGN gave ORAS 7.8 out of 10 for Too Much Water.
Too much water.
I know it's an overused meme, but I think that shows how
Yeah, it really shows.
they cover Pokemon games. So I think at this
So,
point it's irrelevant.
So yeah, I played actually several different titles, and X and Y was okay. Sun and Moon was, in my opinion, really bad. White 2 and Black 2 was really good in my opinion, and Soul Silver and Heart Gold was the best in my opinion.
That's
like,
Gen 4. That's Gen 4.
I really want a second gen remake, another one, but in the current gen. I know it was a Gen 4, but with this second gen map. But I still want a second gen remake because I think that was the best game.
Oh wait, no, they're gonna re-release Sun and Moon again for the third straight time.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, yeah, I'll save that for another video on my thoughts on the Moon.
Super Ultra Sun and Super Ultra Moon.
Yeah, well, you can get into a podcast with me if you want on that one, because that sounds like that's gonna be fun. So yeah, it was basically Sun and Moon started this downward trend for Pokemon, and Monster Hunter, it took them so long to get to this point. We're seeing, I know you've given your thoughts on stories, but a lot of people actually liked stories. I like stories myself. I think I've almost beat Ultra Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon, and I still think stories is a better game. It's more complete. You can do more things with your monsters. And it's not glorified. As much as people are going to hate me for this, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is literally glorified DLC. I hate to say it, guys. I don't hate Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon like I hated Sun and Moon. I actually kind of like Ultra Sun and Moon compared to Sun and Moon. But Stories is just so much better. And Monster Hunter honestly had a better year. But
yeah. Like, even though like the joke, the meme is like, oh boy, Capcom, you got me, double cross, and then you opens the present and it's stories, but like still, like from what I've heard, like I'm on Discord is completely it's like it doesn't talk up really much about Monster, but several people there love Monster stories, and like I didn't get into it. Like even like I'm on another server where someone really wants to play it. I'm like, you know what? If you really want it, I'll buy it for you. But he's like, no. I was like, you obviously really want it, but you obviously are too polite to ask for money. So yeah, I've seen just like a lot of people really liking stories, but like it's just not my kind of game.
Yeah, I'm glad it didn't sell well, because Capcom would have probably used some other BS excuse about, oh, since it didn't sell well, no more Monster Hunter games for the 3DS. They would have done something like that. Now on to the actual thing about the division, because we're still trying to set up this point. Yeah, night of E3, I was hyping Monster Hunter up, like, okay, we're going to get stories and double cross, and what's Pokemon going to have to offer? Glorified DLC of Sun and Moon. This is great. Monster Hunter's going to take that #1 spot. And then E3 rolled along, and we got Worlds, and there goes their chance at trying to beat Pokemon and try to establish them as one of Nintendo's heavy IPs.
Exactly.
So that really, really, really sucked. And that honestly made me go, oh my god, Capcom, you know how you're saying a bad business decision? If you have a dynasty, okay, a gaming franchise that's been on the ropes for like 2 years now, you have them on the ropes, that's your chance to strike. You localize Double Cross, and then you say, oh, by the way, we have a new game coming for the Switch.
But we're still in development, so we're not going to show any gameplay.
Yeah,
more or less.
That's what I was honestly expecting, because they were doing so well up until that point. But then instead we get Worlds, and it's just a stab in the back.
Yeah, I think using the term stab in the back would be a way of the older PS fans to say, oh, but we were stabbed in the back during the PSP game days and the PS2 days, but like again,
they went to bankruptcy. Remember?
Yeah, and Capcom was but still, it's I guess people would just try to use that against us, even though it's still kind of a weak argument against us. Like it makes more sense now, since they're literally one of the they have the in their grasp, but like they just let it go.
And Capcom went bankrupt, and Nintendo was really the only one to help them at the time. So in exchange, we got some games.
Exactly.
This is
And
more
then
of a
they did
stab in the
well.
back because we got their franchise more popular, more people playing the games. So popular they localized the
Exactly.
first spin-off, which was Stories. So it's a
Well, no,
stab
no,
in the back.
you have to remember, Nintendo localized it.
Oh yeah, they did. So Capcom didn't even bother.
Like, but Nintendo knew the value of it, of stories, and you can see, like, I know multiple people who weren't even Monster fans who loved stories.
It's an embarrassment, really. You have Pokemon on the
Yeah,
ropes and you can't finish the job, and that's why I'm a little borderline boycott Monster. I'm not fully boycott Monster Hunter Worlds yet. I'm borderline, but I got borderline because whenever I tried to express concerns with this game, salty Nintendrone.
exactly.
I don't like
But,
how they're
like,
focusing on graphics over the gameplay. Salty Nintendrone.
exactly. And in my opinion, like, people who might say, "Oh, I'm a salty Nintendo," but, like, again, I have a PC and I actively play several games that are, like, not of course not there's no Nintendo games on the PC, except if you count emulators. But, like, that's a completely different. That's not licensed by Nintendo. But, like, still, I prefer portable gaming, and Nintendo has the best portable platforms. Have been for, like, the past 6 years.
And what's the
And
Switch? A portable platform. That's
exactly, that's what I'm
literally
saying.
Capcom just took
For the
advantage
past 6 years with the 3DS, then the Switch, they're still the best portable gaming, and I love portable gaming. But then, like, of course, like, certain games, like, I had to play them on the PC because, of course, your 3DS can't handle Skyrim, but now you have Skyrim for the 3DS, so that nullifies that. But there's still other games, so I'm not just playing on Nintendo console. And I have played the other two systems. I have played the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, the PlayStation 3, and the PlayStation 4. I don't own them, but personally, I don't care for them.
I played the PS3, and my brother owns a PS4, and he's getting Monster Hunter Worlds. That doesn't mean I have to freaking suck up and enjoy the fact that all the Nintendo fans just got screwed over.
Exactly. Like,
That's
it kind of reminds me. It
stupid.
kind of reminds me of Kingdom Hearts. I don't play Kingdom Hearts myself, but I know that if you are a fan of Kingdom Hearts, you need a big wallet because they jump from console to console constantly.
Um, I believe they've only jumped twice, and that was for the Game Boy and the 3DS.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I thought they were like. I've heard from an actual Kingdom Hearts fan that they've jumped a lot.
Yeah, and each time, I don't know why they do that because Kingdom Hearts, it's never really worked with us. Like 358 days, it was okay, and then we had what was it?
Teams Up
Dream
Distance.
Drop Distance. That game was dumpster fire.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a difference between that doing bad. Monster Hunter never had a bad game when they came over to Nintendo.
Yeah,
Never
it's
had
like
one bad game.
they've all. I'm pretty sure they all did well, except for maybe 3U on the 3DS. I know that
3U
I know
on the
that a
3DS
lot.
had 3U had 4.1 million units.
All right, never mind. I just know that, like, I know that definitely all the 3DS Monster Hunter titles have done really well. Like, they got me to play for you. Like, their market, like, since I heard it was both harder than 3U, but also had the tutorial, so it's like it was perfect.
And
I
it
guess.
had the Guild Quest. Oh
Yeah,
man, I love the Guild Quest.
yeah, we're talking about gameplay features we want back. I want Guild Quest. I want the 4U's verticality, and I want 3U's water combat.
Oh well, that will be a $50 micro tax charge if they go that path,
Exactly.
which I guess they will. And we have. What is your opinion on both factions? I guess I should be asking you that.
Factions, as in the pro and against
Yeah.
the Monster World. Well, like, I guess I'm technically considered part of the boycott because I have the means of playing it, but I don't have I don't want to, so I guess I am part of it. But like again, it is kind of both an extreme. Like if you're for and against, you're either for and against it, and that's unfortunate because that's a lot with a lot of like silly stuff that's happened. So I guess I'm against Monster Hunter World, but that's mostly because I prefer to play it on the. I prefer to play Monster Hunter games on a portable system. But like, hey, like if it's a good game, then I'll eat my words. But I probably still won't play it.
Oh, you'll just eat your words. I'll be eating 8 million crow if this game actually turns out being good, which I honestly don't think it's gonna beat. What's gonna come down to it is if the PC users show up. But if this game is like capped at 30 frames per second and 720p like it is right now on the consoles, I don't think this game's
Like,
gonna take off.
like if that's the case, even if it's in the beta or like alpha or whatever, like it's testing, that still doesn't make any sense. Like, don't you test it in its full capabilities, right?
Yeah, and you can tell it's 720p and 30 frames per second. So this whole crap about maximizing the potential off of the hardware, 720p and 30 frames per second, that's not maximizing hardware.
That's literally the portable. That's literally a portable version of pretty much all Switch games.
So here's what I think: if they enable crossplay, that will screw it all up. At this rate, they probably shouldn't add crossplay if they want this game to sell. Because if you make it to that, you're going to have to make the PC version run at 30 frames per second. Maybe you'd be able to boost it to 1080p, but I know personal PC gamers, and they are very, very nitpicky about their frames per second. If you make it 30 frames per second, this game will flop all across the boards.
And again, I don't have much of a problem with 30 frames, 60 frames, or even I've heard people are testing 120 frames, which sounds ridiculous, but they're doing it, and I have no problem with either one or 1080p. I've actually, before I had like PC, which I played like really low quality and really low quality, like the Wii and stuff, the GameCube, other PC games that were old, and like my PC was really old back then. So like I still don't care, even if I can have the settings at right now I can have the settings at 60 frames per second, but I really don't care, and like I'm fine with going onto my 3DS or my Switch and then going back to my not PlayStation, my PC, and I really don't care about the frame rate. I just want a fun game to play.
And that's another reason why I'm really boycott Monster Worlds, because they're sacrificing pretty essentially what's core gameplay, as we can see right now. The combat is slower. We've already seen it. Longsword is not supposed to be moving that slow. I'm sorry. I've seen longswords before. They're not supposed to be doing all this honky donkey swirly slashes. They're supposed to just cut up and go fast. Or not. Exactly. And whenever you take that out, that honestly shows me what you're doing to gameplay.
Exactly.
And I really hate World Whiteknights. I've had a bad taste in my mouth. 2 friendships gone because of them. Getting accused of being a salty Nintendrone all the time. I'm at my wit's end. I honestly, if I ran into a White Knight, like an Uber White Knight, I'd probably beat their. I'm not going to finish that sentence.
Yeah, but still, you shouldn't condone violence. Like, the better. Like, if they're going to be like that, just let them be that way. Let the people see.
Let them be idiots.
Let the people see their idiocy, and it will show them all they need to see.
Yeah, it's just like I'm so sick and tired of the bull crap.
Violence is not something you should condone.
Yeah, it's not something I condone. I'm not telling you to go. Whoever is who's pro Worlds, I'm not telling you to go punch them. That would be, you'd be no better than them.
Exactly.
But with how much crap I've had to endure from the World Whiteknights, I'm at my wit's end with them, and that's why I'm on the Borderline boycott.
Right. So thank you for having me.
What?
Well, I don't know what else to say.
Oh god. uh, well, I think that is all the time we have. Dang, yeah. So we got into the time range I wanted to get on this video about 1 hour ish.
Alright,
So,
exactly.
thank you all for watching. Thanks Noah for being a guest on this podcast, even though you roboted a lot. I was able to fix it midway through, like almost a quarter of a way through it, because I opened up the program.
Exactly.
So tonight, I don't know how things are going to work. This podcast could be going up a lot later than we have it. I'm going to upload an update video, the podcast from beforehand, and then this podcast. And then the next podcast, maybe it'll be on something not Monster Hunter related, because like the past 3 videos have been Monster Hunter related. Maybe it'll be something about, I don't know, freaking Pokemon. We can talk about if if Gen 7 probably derailed Pokemon in a way.
Alright.
So that is all, guys. Thank you so very much for watching this video.
Thank you for playing with my robot.
Thank you for putting up with Noah's robot. Thank you all for watching. Have a nice day. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe. See you guys.